The candlelight flickered, casting jagged shadows across the crisp white tablecloth, as my wife's laughter sliced through the hum of the restaurant. It wasn't her usual laugh, not the soft, unguarded chuckle I'd fallen in love with 12 years ago. This was sharp, performative, a sound meant for someone else. I sat across from her, my fork hovering over a half-eaten plate of linguine, my chest tightening as I watched her lean toward the man beside her. He wasn't supposed to be here. Not tonight. Not at our anniversary dinner. "Evan, you're so quiet," Sarah said, her voice honeyed but edged with something I couldn't place. Her emerald eyes flicked toward me, then back to him, Daniel, her colleague from the law firm. His tie was loosened, his smile too comfortable, his hand brushing hers as he reached for the wine. I told myself it was nothing. A coincidence. She'd invited him because why? My mind scrambled for reasons, each one flimsier than the last. "I'm just enjoying the moment," I lied, forcing a smile that felt like it might crack my face. The restaurant smelled of roasted garlic and rosemary, but all I could taste was the sour tang of unease. Around us, couples murmured, glasses clinked, and soft jazz curled through the air. The place was intimate, all dark wood and amber light, the kind of setting we'd chosen to celebrate every milestone since our wedding. Tonight, though, it felt like a stage. And I was the only one who hadn't read the script. Sarah's fingers toyed with her necklace, a silver locket I'd given her on our first anniversary, engraved with our initials. She wore it every day, or so I thought. But now, watching her laugh again at something Daniel whispered, I noticed the locket wasn't there. Instead, a delicate gold chain gleamed against her collarbone, one I'd never seen before. My pulse thudded in my ears. When did she start wearing that? "You okay, babe?" Sarah asked, her tone light but her eyes searching, like she was testing me. Daniel glanced up, his gaze lingering on me for a beat too long before he took a sip of his Merlot. "Fine," I said, my voice tighter than I meant it to be. "Just surprised you invited someone else tonight." Her smile faltered, just for a second, but it was enough to make my stomach lurch. "Oh, come on, Evan," she said, waving a hand dismissively. "Daniel's been working late with me on the Peterson case. I thought it'd be nice to include him. Right, Daniel?" "Absolutely," Daniel said, his voice smooth as polished stone. Didn't want to intrude, but Sarah insisted. "Said you wouldn't mind." His eyes met mine and I saw it, a flicker of challenge, like he knew something I didn't. I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. I wanted to believe her. I always had. Like when she started staying late at the office 3 months ago, or when her phone began buzzing at odd hours, texts she'd dismiss as work stuff. I told myself it was nothing. Sarah loved me. She'd chosen me, hadn't she? 12 years, 2 miscarriages, 1 cross-country move. We'd built a life together. But now, as her hand grazed Daniel's sleeve, I felt the ground shifting beneath me. The waiter arrived with dessert, a chocolate torte we were supposed to share, but Sarah pushed it toward Daniel with a playful grin. "You have to try this," she said, her voice warm, intimate. I stared at the torte, its glossy surface catching the candlelight, and remembered the first time we'd come here. She'd smeared chocolate on my nose, laughing until tears streaked her cheeks. That memory felt like it belonged to someone else now. "Evan, you're not eating," Sarah said, her tone sharper now, like she was annoyed I wasn't playing along. "What's wrong?" "Nothing," I said, but my voice cracked, betraying me. I cleared my throat, trying to steady myself. "Just thinking about us. 12 years is a long time." Her expression softened, but there was something guarded in her eyes, like a door half closed. "It is," she said, reaching for my hand across the table. Her touch was warm, familiar, but it didn't steady me like it used to. "We've been through a lot, haven't we?" Daniel shifted in his seat, his jaw tightening. I caught it. The way his fingers curled around his glass, the way his eyes darted to her hand on mine. My heart pounded, a sick rhythm that matched the jazz in the background. What am I missing? The rest of the dinner passed in a blur of forced smiles and small talk. Sarah and Daniel dominated the conversation, their banter laced with inside jokes about depositions and office politics. I nodded along, my mind racing, picking apart every glance, every touch. Had she always laughed like that with him? Had her hand always lingered so long when she passed him the bread basket? By the time the check arrived, I felt like I was drowning in a sea of half-formed suspicions. As we stepped outside, the cool night air hit me like a slap. The city hummed around us. Car horns, distant laughter, the glow of streetlights smudging the sky. Sarah linked her arm through mine, but her other hand brushed Daniel's as they walked side by side. I stopped dead in my tracks. "Sarah," I said, my voice low, trembling. "What's going on?" She turned, her face a mask of confusion. "What do you mean?" "Don't," I said louder now, my hands shaking. "Don't act like I'm crazy. You invited him to our anniversary dinner. You're wearing a necklace I've never seen. My voice broke and I hated how weak it sounded. "You're different." Daniel stepped back, raising his hands like he was surrendering. "Hey man, I don't want any trouble." "Then why are you here?" I snapped, my eyes locked on Sarah. "Why is he here, Sarah?" Her lips parted, but no words came. For the first time all night, she looked caught, her confidence unraveling. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating, until she finally spoke. "Evan, I didn't want it to happen like this," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I was going to tell you." My knees buckled, but I stayed upright, gripping the edge of a nearby lamppost. "Tell me what?" She glanced at Daniel, then back at me, her eyes glistening with tears. "I'm leaving, Evan. I've been seeing Daniel. For a while now." The world tilted. The streetlights blurred, the city's hum fading to a dull roar in my ears. I wanted to scream, to demand why, to beg her to take it back. But all I could do was stare at her. The woman I'd loved for over a decade, now a stranger standing 3 feet away. "Why?" The word clawed its way out of me, raw and ragged. She swallowed, her voice trembling but resolute. "I don't know how to explain it. It just happened. I didn't mean to hurt you, Evan. I still love you in a way. But I'm not in love with you anymore." Daniel looked away, shoving his hands in his pockets, but I barely registered him. My eyes were on Sarah, on the gold chain glinting at her throat, on the absence of the locket I'd given her. I thought of the late nights, the unanswered texts, the way she'd stopped saying, "I love you" first. The signs had been there, screaming at me, but I'd buried them under blind trust. "I deserve better than this," I said, my voice steady now, fueled by a quiet fury. "You could have told me. You could have ended it with dignity. Not like this." She flinched, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't know how." I turned away, my chest hollow, my hands clenched into fists. The city pulsed around me, indifferent to the wreckage of my life. I walked into the night, leaving them behind, but her words followed me, sharp as a blade. "I'm not in love with you anymore." And yet, as I disappeared into the crowd, a small, stubborn part of me wondered if I could ever stop loving her.